Hi, and welcome to the Improvisors podcast. I'm Neil Thomas, and this is my co-host, Kevin James.
Thank you, Neil. On the Improvisers podcast, we chat with performers about their histories, their practices, their conceptualizations around practice, their aspirations, and their current projects. Who have we got on today, Neil?
Today, we're in conversation with two remarkable artists, Maja DEKLEVA LAPAJNE and NORBERT SVEN. We talked to them of social choreography and activism. They considered trust versus hope, and improvisation as unrepeatable yet full of repetition.
They also reflected on performing whilst walking backwards for 10 days. They spoke in detail about their performance and writing practice, Life Refabricated. And they also reflected on improvisation as social resistance.
I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as we did.
Yes, it was wonderful. Let's go.
It gives us such great pleasure to be in conversation with Norbert and Maja, all the way from Slovenia. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Improvisers podcast. Let's start the conversation with a brief history of you individually as creative practitioners and together. How does that sound?
Great. Hello. It's so nice to be here with you, to have this chat at different times of the day also. It's morning for us and evening for you. And it's nice to be in contact within the time differences.
Yeah.
So our background, as you say, we have different backgrounds, and this is also a part of our interesting cooperation. I mostly come from the world of improv theater, but then this also combined with clown practices and physical theater, and then also contemporary dance practices, and also intersections between arts and social fields, let's say. So all this together, it's my background. But I started from and with improv theater, and it's one of my main backgrounds.
And you forgot to mention also music. Is also making music as part performative, but to go maybe we will answer later. So my background first, I come from dance, in general dance, but also contemporary dance, but and then similarly, I would mention clowning practice, and also music making. And the same like with Maja, I'm interested in what is called the term social choreography, or connection between arts and social environment, let's say, environment. That's very briefly, I think. And also to mention, because we will come to that, how we met together and what is our then together, is also writing was a lot. I'm interested in the relation between performing and language, and in general, like in performing the language, how to use language, especially in the context of dance, but also then how to write about improvisation, dance, finding the language that corresponds, or to describe, to talk, to think about what's going on when performing or choreographing or directing. And then I think it was 2005 we met for the first time, I think. And then jump to 2013, I think. And then we will, I think 13, 12. I don't know. We started a practice, performative practice and artistic practice, Life Refabricated. That is not just performative, it's also writing practice. But in between, there is a little story that we were also making 2007. We were making a performance for teenagers And we would the main thing we would do at the seaside actually, which was also exciting because that's not the usual thing. At that time, I was living in a small town in Slovenia, Maja in Ljubljana, but we were working at the seaside. The majority of it, we put it there up, set it up, the performance for teenagers. And on the way back to Ljubljana, I was in the car with Maja and Tomasz. Tomasz is husband of Maja, also a performer. And they suddenly they say to me in a serious tone, they tell me, Gregor, we need to talk. And I'm like, oh no, I'm like, what did I do? And I didn't perceive it or notice, I was like, oh, maybe did something wrong and I didn't know about it. And then they told me, we think there is clown in you. And I was like, whoa, surprised, because they were already clowning for the hospital clowns in an organization here called Dreadnoughts, Rdečí. And that's how then I jumped into clowning, because they actually kind of come to this world. This was some points of meeting, but maybe you something remember. What else do you remember?
Well, yes, the thing is that we cooperate in many different projects and practices, from clown, theater, dance, video, music, many different things. But our main thing together is Life Refabricated. And this has started as exploration of the meeting points between theater and dance improvisation, since Norbert's background is dance and mine is theater. And this many times it's not in contact so much in different parts of the world, these two improvisational scenes. So we were interested in that at first. So I would say the first years were these, searching for similarities, for differences in dance and theater improvisation. But then it grew much bigger, and it's a world on its own right now, in performance sense and writing sense and all of that.
Yeah. To mention, and this is where I did when I said that Maja is also making music, out of being part of a clown group, a contemporary clown group, Maja and me, actually came out also a band called Poetically Incorrect, and we're just about to publish album called Enkrat Drugič. We don't know the translation of it, but anyway, in Slovenian it sounds funny.
I think the translation is some other time.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
some other time. But it is now. It's now, but it's some other time.
Yes. It's funny. Well, too long to explain here. Anyway, we will have a concert. The opening concert, the promotional, the big event is in 2 weeks, no? Or 3 weeks. Yeah. So yeah, it's all these coming together, and what I like to say also in my bio that these are just the roles and formats that I'm using to explore what is dance, choreography, performing, collaboration, artistic, and so on. So these are all formats to simply artistically explore.
Wow. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast today. We met, I think, in January in Canberra. Or was it? No, it was in December in Canberra, and Maja in Melbourne as well. So it's great now to be able to sort of continue the conversation. But one thing that I'm so impressed with your work is the range of modalities, as you said, dance, clowning, music making, teaching, peer support groups, writing. The range is so wide. Many improvisers in Australia maybe do one thing, and they may do that very well, but quite often they're not doing a range of things such as you. So it's sort of wonderful to have a chance to talk about that. But the second thing that I've been so impressed with is your writing. It's writing that delves deeply into the very nature of performance, of improvising, and it questions, it challenges, it provokes. So it'd be great for us to be able to wander through some of those areas today. But I'd like you to maybe talk a little bit more about life refabricated and why call it that, and what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? What does it provoke? What does it promote?
One thing connected to the name of it, Life Refabricated, is that we work a lot with transforming the personal material into stage material. So it's life as we experience it, or lives as we experience them, transformed into an art piece, into a stage material. And why do that? Because, well, there are many reasons why do this. One thing is that it's right here, and in improvisation we deal with what there is. So me being performing is working with myself, my thoughts, my feelings, my views on the world, my standpoints, and then things between us, since we are both performing, or whoever else is performing. Think what is between us, what is among us. So it's at hand, it's close, and we can work with it, and it's not erasable. So we work with what there is. That is one reason. Another reason is because we don't want to work with the grand statements, how the world is, or the big truths or big theories of why we live in a society as it is, but to really go from very intimate, personal point, and then transform it so that it becomes a playful playground for everyone involved, including the audience and the performers. To share this view on the world through artistic material, and then everybody can relate to it in whatever kind of way, but it's not petrifying in terms of that's how it is. This is what we should do with the current situation. That is one thing about Life Refabricated.
Yes, which reminds me too. This working from what is there, what is at hand, how I am, how is the world, in which place do I find myself? So like what we like to say, here and now. But it's not just here and now, it's what is. And for me, I'm interested to work from that. Also because many times, well, at least in dance, is this idea of, you are, I want to do this, okay, I want to do such and such a performance. And then a lot of times we're looking at what is not there. I need to get this, or I need to learn that, or da-da-da. And then we tend to forget or put in background, what do I have, what I am, how do I feel? And then it's also very rich how you arrive from how you are now to what you want to be, or let's say there is a character you want to play or a movement to do. But the starting point is, this is how I am. I feel tired, or I feel energized, but I need to do a very slow movement. And then this is the work of performer on a very also this pragmatical level. Like as a performer, I need to know how I am now for me to perform anything I want, basically. So this is one thing that we even more developed here, or explored, not developed, but explored. And out of exploration come tools, development, of course, strategies, and they also evolve, or kind of, where you're like stuck with something, working, not stuck, but like into it, and suddenly it launches you in another universe, and you start, another theme starts, and that's beautiful. So I don't need to worry about, will I have an inspiration or something, because it's enough to stay with what is, that I'm pretty sure it will launch me, or us also, in terms of Life Refabricated, into a new world, or new topic, or a new character scene. So this is one thing, and the other is about what Maja already said about relation, and how I think simply performing is collective act, It's never, even if I'm alone on the stage, I'm not alone because there is a public. And I don't know, there is maybe light technician also as well, even if there is no public. But just to say, to be really a solo is not a solo. It's not that I'm alone. It's a collective work always. And this is very clear to me as a performer, as I've always been. And when and something from clowning in hospitals that is very well articulated, and that's why I'm mentioning here, is that when you're a solo, then it's a very kind of public and me. So the public is all the time addressed, let's say, just to say it till this point, not always, but it's more directly addressed. When we are two, we can practice the relation, or what is happened, the collectivity, or we're making something together without letting people just watch that, so they can rest from being directly addressed, dragged into let's make it together. Then we can also release them from audience, and that we can just concentrate on what's going on here. And then you can just watch it simply. But of course, we also open up and close in. And the same, why I'm mentioning, because the clowning, this is one of the features working in hospital, is that you come in with a game between us. So you don't the game comes into the room, and we don't need audience for this game to take place. So these are two things that I really also enjoy in Life Refabricated to explore even more. And the third thing I would mention is the idea of practice, of artistic practice, which is a regular, constant exploration, a field that is open. It's like an ocean, I would say. And I step into it, or it's air, or it's a gravity. It becomes something that is there all the time. Like I like also to say, when we're working, also we are teaching together, and we enjoy that a lot, is, to work with what is always there, like gravity is there, if you are breathing, so breathing is always there, available to use it as a performative tool. And Life Refabricated and practice is also something that is all the time there. It's not that I need to do something special. It's there. It's like an air or gravity available. And this is very inspiring also. And a home. And the last thing, it's a lot of things like Maja said. And also it becomes what I enjoy. And I had also, or having also other practices, but I enjoy that Life Refabricated became a being of its own. It has its own life. It calls, it requires, gives love, wants attention. And really, there's a feeling, of course. It's like an entity that it has its own life. And this is so, I don't need to, I don't need to keep on feeding it. It's an entity of its own.
I will still add something. Can I do this? What comes to my mind is just that life is beautiful. So first to go with that. And even when we don't feel like this, we try again. Or maybe I can speak for myself. Of course, there are moments that I'm upset or depressed or just disappointed, or I feel despair in terms of how life is or the world. But then every time I go back with it with trust, to say, okay, what else can I see, feel, notice, through what detail I can enter the beauty of life. And it's just incredible, what a huge wonder it is, the life. So it's an endless source of inspiration. And every time people say, oh, but you did it so many times, this performance, Life Refabricated, where do you still find material? Don't you run in circles? And we are more like, come on, it's every moment, it's a different life. it's endless inspiration. Another thing I wanted to say is that the way we place it in different spaces. We lately really like to perform in places that are not venues, theatrical venues. Or if they are, we try to shift the space in another way. We every time avoid the frontal performance where we would be on stage and the audience on the other side. We like to play it non-frontally, and lately we really enjoy site-specific or outdoor or cellars or strange, bizarre storages or living rooms, whatever brings life. Instead of reducing it with a black box, we like spaces that are sparkling with life.
And the latest it's not latest, yeah, but we do it. It's anonymous. We call them anonymous performances, which is we just go out there. Like we did it in Melbourne. We went to the port, and then the other site was cemetery, and and then of course it's also a playful way of saying, okay, who's the public, or what's the stage, or am I performing? Am I not performing? And this is all part of the performance, so it's not we don't exclude it. Yeah, this I'm also interested, and we're both interested in that, like, oh, I can use anything, or to this, what I like to always quote, and this moment, Ian Bogost saying, you can play anything, but that doesn't mean everything is a play. And I like this, it's a very strong and clear performative tool as a performer, that's to have this in mind that, oh, I can turn everything in the play, but that doesn't mean that everything is a play. And that's a very nice motor also for performing. And yeah, and then what Maja said is like really to practice actually trust also, it is, and it also gives then back, it's, life also refabricates my private life in terms of, oh, I can, and this is also what we like to offer with Life Refabricated as a performance, is how else can we be together as a, okay, 20 people this is a little place in this reality where we can experiment a little bit for an hour. How else can we be together? Very simple, and but yeah, it can be empowering, simply to say. So I'm also learning from any being. I'm also learning from Life Refabricated about, for example, trust. To practice trust and to say, and go back to my life, and where I'm maybe feel insecure, I'm like, okay, Gregor, what happens if you trust a little bit more your intuition or time, or so yeah.
Endless work.
Endless work. Yeah. But that's also a good thing. I want two things about endlessness, or I like, as a performer, impossible tasks that I know intellectually they're impossible to execute, but they're just enough. Oh, there is, but it is possible. It's like you don't give up. You're like, but let's give it a try. Though intellectually it's like impossible, but I like it's really like back and forth, and you already have a mechanism that, oh, I don't need to worry being alive, keep things alive. It's just what I said, to find an impossible task. And here we also found eternal game, because it's a refabrication. It's like, oh, you can turn it and you turn it and boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
True. As soon as you process some of the parts of the life, there are new fields opening up that want this.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's hard to respond to that. There's so much love and life, and but what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a little section of your article that you passed on to us, that was published in a journal in Slovenia. I'll just read that, and I'd like you to, first of all, I'd like people to hear it because it's such magnificent, rousing writing, but also to see it through the lens of, I guess, social It strikes me there's something about social activism. It, maybe activism's a harsh word, but there's something about that in in your work. So this is your writing. Improvisation is resistance. Improvisation resists goal orientation. It resists productivity. It resists achievement and overachievement. It resists perfection. It resists autocracy. It resists hierarchy between the different roles within an artistic work: director, choreographer, dramaturg, lead actor, supporting actor, performer, author. It resists the hierarchy between the performers and the audience, and thus social hierarchy in general. It resists control. It resists single-mindedness and a one-dimensional understanding of life. It resists censorship. It resists the existing social order. However small a box we put improvisation in, however much we try to regulate it with rules, it will always create mini spaces of freedom and small cracks through which we can breathe and get in touch with something else. Wow. Tell me about that.
What else? We were working on it. Yeah, to name it. What else do you want? No, I'm joking. But yeah, I think what I was when you were reading, I was thinking resistance is one way also to make a distance towards something I feel close to. You know, it's like improvisation is our. Let's take another thing. Okay, social order. You know, to resist it for a moment, to say, what if? It's a type of resistance. I'm not saying I'm denying it. It's not denial. Resisting is not necessarily denial. It's more like, wait a minute, or what about, what if we change the perspective? So, and the resistance is one, again, to repeat for me, one way of take a distance from what I feel dear to also. Of course, I want to be, not of course, but I want to be social. I want to be in a relationship. And then just to resist also this wish to say, okay, let's a bit back off. And I'm like, make a distance. Yeah, that was my first thought.
Yeah, I go also with that in terms of that improvisation is constant questioning of everything that we take for granted. And in that, it has already the resistance and the social activism, as you call it. It's really like re-questioning, is this really the only way that we can live together? Is this really the only way we can deal with these situations? So constant questioning is one thing. And it's interesting because in many improvisational scenes, certain conventions come in quite strongly, like this is how it is done, this is the performance that we do, this is how improvisation looks like. But in its premise, it's all the time exploration and questioning and opening up. So I'm happy that improvisation always finds a way to to go across these conventions. This is maybe what we thought also with whatever kind of box we put it in, it always finds a way through cracks. So that is one thing. And another thing is, I think it is revolutionary in the sense, and I bring this up because we are writing a book entitled Improvisation, Revolution, Love. And as we are writing, many times we are struggling with, wow, what about this revolution? How do we deal with that? Why did we put this inside? What do we want to say with it? It's still a struggle for us. But I think it is revolutionary in the sense that it, for example, in the sense that it's collective work, that it's co-creation, and this is something that is very much disappearing in this world, I think, because we are so atomized, isolated, it's very strong pressure for individualism. So that is already something that is offering a different perspective. Another thing would be, of course, questioning, as we mentioned it already. And inclusivity is something that improvisation is really good at, because whatever happens in improvisation, it's a part of it. Whatever we bring inside as performers or audience members, it influences it. It's not like you have to be a certain way, a certain type fit in a certain category to be able to do improvisation or watch, experience improvisation. It really takes you, invites you as a whole. And this inclusivity, I think it's quite strong also in revolutionary sense and social activism, as you say.
That's in short. But no, I thought another thing is that that we are mentioning this improvisation. Of course, this is how we see it, but and I loved about it that I cannot pinpoint it with a word or a definition. This is how also article goes. So we are instead of saying what is not, so not to take this structuralism way of, you know, you say what is not and then you get what it is. We decided to go for assertive or, you know, affirm improvisation is this, improvisation is this. Just giving some examples of what we think it is. We don't think we can exhaust that, what is, because it's very clear as also there. And this feature I like very much about improvisation, word improvisation, that it's like, what is it? You know, and the first question is like, I usually say, oh, I use improvisation, and in my mind already, I would have a question, what is improvisation for you today? You know, and then because it constantly evolves, it's there, or as I like to play, the moment I say what it is, it's already somewhere else, and I love about it, you know. Yeah, it's similar to word for me like queer or feminism, all these words that they are made also for me in a way to go away from identitary politics, but rather work with the differences. And then if we're working with differences, we're with the repetition, and that's a whole new subject to go to. But just wanted to say that for me, improvisation, that's great that improvisation keeps on letting me know I'm not in a control, but that doesn't mean I'm lost. I can navigate. I can, you know, oh, collaboration. Oh, if we navigate together, oh, what happens? So, and this brings me to another thing I already wanted to say before, is to give, not to be empowering or to give to public also that it's rather than intellectually saying, oh, this is social activism, that it comes as a sensation. So that Life Refabricated is environment where you experience, oh, that's political. To be intimate, it's political. To share an intimate moment, of course, as Maja said, that's our work as a performers, to go from take some personal thing and share it on stage, because it then becomes public. It's not anymore just mine, it's ours. Then it's not just intellectual thought, but it's experienced, and then you go like, whoa, wait a minute, that's political, that's activism. So this I like to open that space so that you come and this is inclusivity for me, that you come in your timing, in your rhythm, with your understanding. And this also helps another thing, or articulates very strongly, is that yes, to start with, it's okay how you feel. Whatever you feel, it's okay, because this is your feeling. But to give it, of course, now I use the words, but Life Refabricated is also to open up this space, or performing, saying, that's how you feel. Okay, work from that. And then I can have a response. I don't like it, whatever, but just start not to jump over that moment. Also in performing as a spectator, the spectator to feel, oh, you are like this now. Okay. And to acknowledge that, and this opens up a new space immediately.
I was just of recent, I was sort of pondering, why do I still improvise? And I was sort of wondering why. And you know, one of the simple answers, or one of the simple things that is there, is a sense that when I improvise, I actually find more than myself. I become more than my daily persona or my normal way of responding or being, and my repertoire of living tends to broaden. And that's sort of something personal about that. But when you're talking about what you are now, you're sort of taking that into the sort of social and public domain and providing that opportunity for our repertoire of living and being together in the world to become more and to continue to become more under every circumstance. And I'm so excited by your work and by your way of talking about your work and by your way of talking about public processes of things becoming relationally alive and starting close to home with your experiencing, but then sort of spreading out into a sort of a socially engaged and relational extended way of being. It's so exciting. So that's just really a comment in a way, but I would love to know a little bit more about maybe how you apply it or where you've applied it. And I love the little story you were telling just before when we met about the applause activity. So I'm wondering if you can sort of wander through a few areas where you're bringing this to life in the world, in areas that I think as improvisers, especially in Australia, we're working in very singular and very isolated ways, and you're doing it in ways that are so expansive and beautifully provocative.
For example, very interesting, poetically incorrect is a band with another performer, also and clown. He's Gergely Doja. And as of how do we bring there, what is interesting is we wrote our songs. So for us, it's a band and it's songs and it's music. And at the beginning, people were kind of in between. It's a performers because also Gergely, he's a clown and actor, and of course we were using our tools of performing to make concert live, and also songs are very live in us and everything. And it was interesting how and we insisted, no, it's a concert. Of course, how we perform it, we're using these tools, but they are toned down because it's about music. But we use our performative skills to support the music that is there, and that we have fun also, and that it's a nice groovy feeling also of all this community. We do lots of mistakes and we take them in. We are, of course, people are, what I also have experienced, they're musicians usually are really, not really, but they are into the instrument and music and listening and not so much direct connection, eye contact, or reacting to things that are happening in the public. And we are, but it doesn't take away from the music that we're making. So this would be one thought, I think, how we apply it is like you tone down the performing, but you still use it to support the music. Another example. I have another one. I have two more, but let you see what I'm interested what you thought of.
I thought of a project that we were both a part of called Along the Walk, which was a project on the topic of deceleration. So from the frustration of the fast-paced world and product-oriented life, and working day and night, being on call and bringing up new premieres and new titles to sell and so on, and just busy life in general, we thought, okay, let's go for this topic of deceleration and to tackle it as literally and physically as we can. So we decided on duos of artists that will be walking for 20 days. It was 2 times 10 days, walking in the rural areas of Europe. It was international artistic duos. So the idea was really that walking is the only mean of transport. And you go from a village to a village, meeting people, experiencing the landscape, the country, talking, eating, sleeping, and creating from that. So to be in contact with the land where you are performing and the people you are performing with and for. And each duo had a different way of approaching it. And for example, Norbert, who was called this collective in that project, and Mathilde Vrignot, a French choreographer, they decided for the back walk. So they did 20 days of only back walking. It's even more decelerated in
Yes.
even slower. And just by this simple choreographic idea, it's like the universe is open, both in the sense of meeting people and being there just by the fact that you're walking backwards. Everyone was, of course, interested in seeing them walking across the field from all these small villages. What are these two doing? And then maybe joining them, trying out. They were invited to go with them or just observe them from afar. And this, this is one thing that I thought of, like it's a simple choreographic idea, but it goes directly into contact with people and the environment.
Yes, I thought of two things I will mention that we are doing. One is teaching, and it's this co-teaching thing. I'm also involved with the other people. In co-teaching means the same workshop, so the same subject, the same theme, but there is not one teacher, but two. And we apply there as well in because again, it's good that immediately when we propose something, a game, an exercise, a topic, you already have two references. So the authority is already in the circulation, and this at least between us, if not also what we also share, of course, that authority is not in one person. The authority is something like, I like to say, like a clown. Clown is between us. It's not in me. And authority is between us, is circulating. And we use that in teaching. It's more exposed than in life, refabricated as a performance. So that would be another application. So that immediately when you have a proposal, you see, oh, Maja thinks like that and Norbert differently, So how do you deal with that? You immediately have, oh, it's a different view. I can have my own opinion, or, okay, I think like that. I can share that. And it's already a different circulation. And the second one I wanted to give, we were working with people that hear voices. This is again, they developed over the years the language about it. It's, I think, the activism around it. It's that it's not a disease, or it's 25 years at least, or 26. We were invited to work with them, and fairly fast, actually, we created a performance with them. But at each stage, we were applying the principles of what we work as an artist, and with them, and taking care, and that it's okay. Again, what I said before, how you feel, going all the time there, and that's valid, how you feel, and that you can use it also. It's not just that I feel, but also we saw the empowerment of them. Oh, I can do something with my feeling, and that theater or performing helped them to understand, oh, I can do something with that feeling. It's not just that I feel, it's I can do something. So these were, and this brings me to another, also to comment from before, the question about social activism is also like, through all this experience, different that were, let's say, not directly artistic, we understood we are artists, and for this group of people that hear voices, wanted that we have a continuous work with them and so on. But that's not our role. We understood also with Maja, and this is also what we communicated. We are artists, and the way we were working, we brought from doing an artistic research and exploration and a practice. And we need to keep on doing that in order to be able to work with you. So, day has 24 hours, and we spend a lot of time doing the artistic practice of Life Refabricated, and we can come and inspire or show that there is ways, because it's not the only way, of course, but it's also this wow, this limitation of, I mean, limitation, because this is, yes, I am doing an artistic practice. Of course, I can go to other fields, and but it takes time to develop that and to be in the practice, and to find the tools and ways of being together again. Like I like to stress that being together.
That with Life Refabricated, what is very important for us is working with the context. And we see that we enjoy the most when we can spend some time in a village, in a town, in a city, with a community before we perform. And to arrive there humble and open and curious and not knowing, and create from that space and create from new meetings, new realizations, new insights, instead of making a piece of art that is fixed and it's exactly like this and then it tours all over no matter what. We really like to work with the context and the people that are experiencing the art piece.
The phrase, I don't know if it was something that came from your writings, but it popped up for me, was experiential optimism. And
Wow,
I just thought I'd say that because I thought you would like that, Grigor. It strikes me you both inhabit a realm of experiential optimism. When you were talking before, Maja, about how to, when you're not feeling so great and you move into a space where life is beautiful, and that somehow the practice is to be in life, I guess. I've got a question. I'm picking another little quote out of your article, but I really intrigued me. Improvisation is unrepeatable and full of repetition. Please tell me more.
Stay tuned. We will translate the article. We wrote an article just on repetition, actually, so it will be translated. Yeah. So, yeah, just this is a little note, but yeah.
Yeah. So one thing is that usually we say improvisation is non-repeatable, and that's why it's so special, right? Because it's always happening in the moment, and it's never the same again, and you never go back to this. It's a one-time performance, and that's it. So usually these two go together, non-repeating improvisation. But on the other hand, we see that we recognize improvisation as improvisation, and this is exactly because apparently something repeats. Otherwise, we would not see it this way. We would not call it improvisation, right? So that is one observation. Another thing is that with Life Refabricated, for example, and we see that the things that we repeat are somehow things we need to revisit because they were not reprocessed, refabricated. There's still something. There's still some topic burning. Some questions are still arising. So by repeating, we come back to it again and again. But with every repetition, something new reveals. So it is repetition, but it's not automatic in terms of it's still the same, but it opens up new and new questions every time we repeat it. So we also discussed a lot how repetition is creating difference, actually. You know, so just by the fact that we are there the second time, it's already different because it's not the first time, right? So one thing is this, revisiting the topics that are still burning. What else?
What else?
Yeah.
I wanted to, on the repetition, I wanted to say, years ago, I started to claim, because I had enough of this dance technique, in opposed to improvisation. And I said, no, improvisation is also a dance technique because you need to be precise, because first of all, we are repeating something in improvisation. Otherwise, we wouldn't know that it's improvisation. So there is something repeating, and what is being repeated you need to practice. You need to be precise about it, like in knowing that you move the hand 90 degrees to here or there, and to repeat that movement. It's the same thing I need to do with improvisation. I need to be precise about my repeating, and that makes it a technique also in a way. So this was one just comment. And in dance world, contemporary dance, what, improvisation is technique? Yes, it's a technique, also, not only. Yeah. Oh, repetition. Well, this is a basic idea. We know that something is repeating because there is some little tiny difference in doing one. How do you say one when you're swimming? One
Stroke.
whatever. Yes. So, and then I repeat it, but there was slight difference in it. So. And I like about it because it's actually producing the improvisation for me, because already I can be stuck on that. I can be yes, and I'm like, is it, am I stuck in it, but it's also a practice of being with how I say, and at the same time allow bodily experiences, how they go. And these little tiny differences are already giving birth to a lots of stuff. Like you started to go with the beat, Neil, and so on. So yeah, that's why we mentioned it there in the article, exactly to entice the thinking. Oh yes, there is something repeating, but it's also the sensation of it. Maybe, I think, not maybe, I think also the message is they don't exclude each other, that it's something that is unrepeatable in improvisation, and that there is a lot of repetition, that these two things are not excluding each other. They are part of improvisation. And to understand, for me, that as a performer, that's crucial to understand, also to embody, and to trust it, to trust that something is now and that's it. And I can also fail in it, whatever, but it's just now, and I know I can repeat it. I also have a power to repeat something, and then failing in repeating it. No. So many things to know. Yeah. And then the debate already shifts somewhere else, because now I thought of clowning because it's something very similar. So clowning state, I prefer to say, is about keeping the game alive, and you need to be repeating something, like but it's the very moments of picking it up, I would say, are these unrepeatable moments. Just that I need to pick it up now like this, and then I need to pick it up like that, and then from here to keep it alive, the game that is between us, whatever it is.
You mentioned about keeping the game alive. We're reaching what will be towards the end of the podcast now, so we're going to find a way of closing down the game a bit.
Yes.
I was going to do something that Neil did before and just read some of the topics from your writings, and then maybe you can make some final comment on any one of these that sort of is alive for you. But these are beautiful. I love what you bring up and how you bring it up in your writings. Improvisation is emergence. Improvisation is making an event out of a moment. Improvisation is the catalyst of what is between us. Improvisation is a meeting place. This is the one Neil just mentioned. Improvisation is unrepeatable and yet full of repetition. Improvisation is what keeps going, is continuation. Improvisation is intangible, but touchable. Oh. Improvisation is nomadism. Improvisation is a question mark at the end of every sentence. Improvisation is resistance. Improvisation is admitting the obvious. Improvisation is tenderness and teasing. Again, I go, oh. Improvisation is contact. Improvisation is co-creation and coexistence. Improvisation is inclusivity. Improvisation is a precise working process with details. Improvisation is trust. Feel free to respond to any one of those that's alive for you now as we head towards finishing.
All right.
Stay tuned because we also wrote an article on trust. Improvisation is trust and improvisation is repetition.
Okay, I go with trust.
And I go with detail. And this was just a little repetition from before. Trust.
All right. So, yes, as I said before, when it's stroking, when Norbert was saying something, I said, endless work with trust. So, yeah, it's something that I experience a lot, like through many years that I'm working on that, but still every now and then, I want to trust it more. I want to trust the material more, myself, my stage partner. I want to trust the world, the people more. And it's really nice practice. Improvisation is really, really helpful with this. And we sometimes say, okay, to not take it as this huge, big topic is trust or no trust, to just take it little step by step, to say to ourselves, what if we trust just a little bit more in this moment? As I'm speaking and explaining this, trusting that something will come out of this answer that I'm trying to make here. Why trust is so important to me, really on a social and world politics level also. Because I think there's a lot of talk about hope lately. So where to find places of hope? It's really like bad, black, negative perspective right now. But I really like to change the hope with trust all the time. Because I feel hope is like out of my hands. Someone else will take care of it. I can just hope and things will maybe happen or maybe not. And trust is work, and it's really, it's hard work, but we can do it. So and step by step in trusting each other and ourselves, I think this is something that I put most trust in, that it will make a difference. Let's say like this. Yeah. So just also trust in co-creation, coexistence, in relationships, in art driven out of relationships to create new relationships. I think trust is really the key point for me right now.
And trust in detail, that, for example, this, let's say it's a detail because you made such a full line of podcast and videocast. Thank you for that. Thank you for your efforts. Amazing. So this little series, this today talk we had, it's a detail. And detail, what I enjoy about the detail is that it requires context, because otherwise you can't make it a detail. And detail can be anything. It can be minuscule, but can be like this whole interview. It's a detail in a whole series of podcasts that you did. And I like to, it's engaging. Again, the same, I think I thought of trust. It's some, as opposed to hope, trust is engaging. It engages me. It activates something in me. And hope is less, it's about waiting, or also giving responsibility to something I hope for, in a way. But to go back, this detail activates me, and I'm like, whoa, and it's so much in details, or what do I make detail now of? And like this, and to it's a constant work. It's just simple. It's a very simple performing and also choreographing or directing tool, is to go for details. And and you have already improvisation for all your life, I mean, as a performer. And it's just a detail. Yeah.
Well, I think that's it.
That's it.
That's a beautiful place to finish. Thank you. Amazing. So full, so rich. Thank you for sharing. Bless you. You know,
It's
thank you.
it's a pity that we have such little time, because we could talk for hours, I think, and hours, and delve into. You're so full of experiential knowings and insights and questions and challenges, and it just feels as though you live this work, and that's so inspiring. And I hope it is inspiring to all of those that will watch this podcast and feel as though their work might be furthered, and that their enthusiasm, and I guess our inspiration to keep going and to keep offering to the world, is can be reignited through what you've offered today. So thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for making this amazing context where these things can happen.
Yeah, thank you so much for this work full of inspiration, playfulness, wisdom. It's so important that this exists in the world. And for me now, I feel like, yeah, I would still want to talk to you, and now it would be our turn to ask you questions.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
About your work.
Yes. So let's make it happen somehow.
Let us know when you start your podcast.
Or we come down to Australia, you know,
Great.
or you come up to wherever we are.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. See you around.
See you. Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
Mwah.